Hello everyone and welcome to PlayStation Access. My name is Ash and today we're taking a look at the brilliantly named, we must say, PlayStation Access controller. I had the pleasure of chatting with Kolo, a brilliant streamer and passionate advocate for accessibility in gaming, about what the PlayStation Access controller is all about. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is it?
The Access controller is a customizable controller that will help people access gaming that might struggle to access it with a traditional control scheme.
Packed with 22 different types of buttons and caps and 23 tags to design your own layout, the Access controller champions versatility and aims to help players with disabilities play more comfortably for longer.
I think it's important to say there's no magic universal fix, as it was, but what it aims to do, and in my opinion does really well, is remove as many barriers as possible to gaming in a solution that's really very out of the box. I think it helps people be more independent, helps people access gaming and be a part of the gaming community as well, in a way that not just is physically possible for them, but also comfortable. And I think the PlayStation Access controller is aiming to make things not just accessible, but also as comfortable as possible, which is a beautiful thing if you ask me.
That attitude towards comfort and longevity alongside adaptability has been a highlight for Kolo, who's in the process of experimenting with the ideal setup whilst using the Access controller. And there are plenty of options to fit all sorts of players.
I think that the main takeaway for me is that the controller changes for the person, not the other way around. You can remap buttons, you can adjust the stick settings, so you can change the sensitivity, you can change the position of the controller, so the joystick is at the top, at the bottom, at the left, or on the right. You can use two Access controllers, and you can also use a DualSense in the same setup. You can use button toggles, so in a way that they work like a caps lock key, which is really amazing for being able to have extra buttons, and also helps for doing things like holding down a sprint toggle, for example, like holding down sprint or accelerating in a driving game. The buttons themselves are really, really different as well. I'm in love with how many come in the box. The slightly different, again, please excuse my hands here, but the slightly different shapes. There's flat ones, there's wedge ones. So if your hands work in a specific way that might make one of those easier, you can change the different types of physical buttons as well. There's also, with the customizability, there's also the 4 3.5 jack ports, which then allow you, and there's 4 in each controller, which then allow you to add accessories. So you can add another joystick or another button to be able to expand it or find something else that works for you in a different way. And it can be mounted. So there's different mounting points on the bottom. It can be mounted to a wheelchair. It can be mounted to a stand, to a flex arm.
With so many options, the Access controller allows for a setup that can be changed as needed depending on how a player is feeling.
So it's also very changeable and adaptable for me as my disability fluctuates, and in terms of the future as well, and not knowing what that looks like, being able to change that over time is amazing. I've started with one Access controller, and I'm currently playing games with a really simple layout. I have a really special place in my heart for Frog Detective, which I know has just come to PlayStation. There he is! There's a really special place in my heart for this game. It's so silly, it's so brilliant. The humor's ridiculous. He will forever be the #1 detective in my heart. So playing that game, which requires just a few buttons and one stick, is a great way to get used to a new control scheme.
Importantly, Kolo highlights how physically changing the controller layout has been thought about as much as the functionality of playing games. For someone that struggles with grip strength, this has been a game changer.
You can do it with one hand, push in, and lift it up, and then it magnetizes back again. And to me, this is amazing that I can do that and change a button independently is really cool. It's hard to find the words, but it's really cool. So it's super duper customizable.
That consideration for setup even extends to the way the controller is packaged too.
Like everything has been thought about. There's loops that you could put a digit or a tool through. The box is balanced. When you open the box, it's balanced, it's weight balanced, so it's not gonna fall over. You've not got one side that's heavier than the other. You've got these little loops that you can put a digit through. Nothing is in fiddly plastic packaging, and it really shows that this has been made in collaboration with disabled people. It really shows that this is being made in collaboration with accessibility experts, because the little things that quite often go unnoticed with accessibility equipment have been considered here. And it makes my heart so happy. It really makes my heart happy.
Profiles are another part of the controller's innovative approach to accessibility as well, allowing players to save and name their button layouts. You can configure 30 different profiles on PS5 and assign 3 to the controller itself, which you can then swap between for the most suitable setup in-game. It's fair to say Kolo is a fan.
Oh my goodness, access profiles are amazing.
But how do they work in practice?
You can store 30 custom profiles to your PlayStation 5, and then up to 3 can be stored on the controller that you're then able to switch between. So what I'm then able to do is I'm able to have 3 different profiles that might work for different styles of games or 3 different options. And I'm really, really excited about that.
So there's a lot to love about the Access controller, but I thought I'd ask Kolo the impossible question of what her favourite feature is anyway.
I could say I love that I'm able to physically move the buttons myself to change it over. I love the profiles. I love the different shapes of the buttons that allow me to rest my hands in different positions. I love the dead zone of the joystick. So on a shaky hand day, I can say, hey, please game, don't listen to the fact that my hand is doing this all the time. Please only pay attention when I get to this point. I love that that I am able to use it as somebody who has a fluctuating disability. I'm able to use it in different ways, and it's able to adapt to me. I really enjoy that. But I think actually my favorite thing about the Access controller isn't a feature. It's that it exists. It's very hard to explain how isolating it can be, especially when you are somebody who needs help to do a lot of things. And when you are kind of a little like me in the last few weeks, been very stuck in one place. And it really, yes, there's a physical toll, and there's also a real toll on your mental health. And being able to access a community, being able to be part of a community, the gamers I know, it's part of their identity. Like, I'm a gamer, I love these games, like we're bonding over Mass Effect, and like part of that community and part of that vibe. Not only is gaming a really beautiful, gorgeous distraction that can help transport you to a different world when the one that you're in is maybe not treating you so kindly, but it's also fantastic for independence, for your sense of belonging, for your ability to independently do something and to be involved with something, to be part of a community and to access all of that, and to be on a level playing field with other people. And so actually my favorite thing is that it exists, because I think, contrary to what a lot of people think, that gaming accessibility is just about games, this is actually going to change people's lives, because it's going to give them their identity back if they haven't been able to find something that works for them yet. And that is extremely special.
Thank you so much to Kolo for talking us through all the wonders of the PlayStation Access controller. You can find Kolo over on Twitch and across social media as Hello It's Kolo to check out more of her wonderful work. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to stay up to date with the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
PlayStation